Monday Night Wars podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode, whatever, of the Monday Night Wars. It is July 21st, 1997, and we're going to throw you for old switcheroony because we're going to start with the War Zone because Nitro's on Tuesday. So we're going to start with Raw that remains on a Monday. It is Monday Night Raw. It is not Tuesday Nitro Tuesday. So Joseph, well, I guess I'm Scott, and with me is Joseph. You've heard of him. How are you, Joseph?
Today was it was busy and then tired. And I went to the gym and then I felt horrible like midway through. I don't think I was hydrated enough, so that was not fun. So rough day on my end, but I had some food. I got some liquids in me, and I'm doing much better. How about you, man?
I'm wonderful.
Well,
thank you for asking. I've had a great day, and I appreciate you asking. But let's talk about Raw, because it's at the Metro Center, spelled Centre, which can only mean one thing.
What's that?
We're not in America.
Oh,
because we don't spell it like that. We are in Canada yet again. Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, which means the Hart Foundation are good guys again.
Yeah, basically.
I guess. Yeah. So there's that. But let's get into it because we start off basically straight up with a match. We've got a match, and then we get into the Hart Foundation, because we got to have the Hart Foundation in Canada. But the match before is Vader versus Ken Shamrock. 7 minutes, 2 seconds. Tell me, Joseph.
We get footage of their first encounter at In Your House Cold Day in Hell, which happened a few months ago. And if you want to hear that, $2 a month on our Patreon. Shamrock has pre-recorded comments about Vader being one of his toughest opponents, but he beat him once, so he'll do it again. Meanwhile, he will be in the zone for Bulldog come SummerSlam. In the zone seems to be Ken Shamrock's catchphrase that he's trying. I don't know if it ever sticks. I don't know a lot about Ken Shamrock, the wrestler, so we're going to find out. But in the zone is what he's going with. This is a fun match, though. It is a fun match. Not as good as their first one, but it is fun. Paul Bearer interferes, and Shamrock clobbers him. Vader takes advantage and hits the Vader splash for a 2 count. Vader powerbombs Shamrock to the outside of the ring. Then Bulldog interferes and hits a power slam to him on the ramp. Shamrock loses his very first match via countout. I really like the storytelling in this. It is not as good as their first match, but I'm going to give it a B+.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to kill each other in this one like they were in the first match. So there is that. But yeah, Shamrock's first loss, although he doesn't lose clean, so I think it still kind of keeps the mystique of the world's most dangerous man, kind of keeps the Vader-Shamrock rivalry going, which I think is a good rivalry to start. Ken Shamrock's kind of run. I think Vader's the right guy for that. So overall, pretty good. Pretty good. But what isn't pretty good is that WCW's got Alex Wright, and WWF says, we got to have some of that German too. So we've got our first look at Brackus. Is that his name? Is that how you pronounce it? Brackus.
Yeah.
And he's very German. And that's about it.
Yeah. My note here is we get a big, meaty German, not as big and meaty as Ronnie, but then again, who is?
And we're doing this, as always, for Ronnie. So, yeah, so they got a German. Does he ever even show up?
We looked this up. When we were watching this, we looked this up. So they do a few vignettes over the next few weeks. They bring him into a house show, I believe, and they realize they have a European tour. So they have him on the European tour, and they realize in the European tour he is god awful. And then they just start using him on a couple house shows, but I don't think he makes an appearance on television, and then he's just gone.
Yeah. And he just says, like, his name is, and these vignettes are just him speaking. And just says stuff like, I'm from Germany, I weigh 300 pounds, and I'm gonna destroy people. That's basically it. You get the gist of it.
Right.
There it is. And it's not great. The promo is not great. So thankfully, though, to show you how to do a great promo, we got the Hart Foundation and Bret Hart, who does not like America again.
Interesting.
Yeah, surprise! Tell me about Vince bringing out the Hart Foundation and Bret's feelings about being in God's country and not the US of A.
Yeah. So first, Vin Man tells us that we will have a 6-man flag match between the Harts and 3 WWF dudes. We don't know who they are at this moment. Point of the flag match is, I believe, you work on the opposite side of your flag and you have to beat up the other team and eventually retrieve your flag. It captures the flag, essentially, except for not good, and it's not on Halo 2. Anyways, he said, Bret, like you said, calls this God's country and says he had a horrible nightmare that he was in San Antonio, Texas last week. I've been to San Antonio a couple times. Yeah, I get it, Bret. He says the U.S. is shaped like one big toilet bowl. San Antonio's okay. Okay, San Antonio's okay. It's got some things that are really nice. Really cool botanical garden. I like their botanical garden. Really nice. They do it up for Christmas every year. We go every year. The Riverwalk is overrated. Super overrated.
It's got the Alamo.
Does have the Alamo, and you and I and my wife had a very good time at the Alamo, so I'll give it that. And then
Love the Alamo.
This is one of Scott's favorite stories. Right next to the Alamo is like the big mall at San Antonio, and we walked in. I think we wanted to like use the restroom or something. It wasn't anything important. We walked in briefly, and there was a Lego store in there. And we go in the Lego store, and we're looking at them, and I'm talking about like, yeah, I can't really get Legos because if I get Legos, it'll become a whole habit. Like, I mean, you guys can see behind me all the collectibles. I collect things. So I was like, nah, it's not a good idea. And so we're talking about this, and Scott looks at a Lego set, and it's like a soccer stadium. And Scott goes, Joseph, they're making stadiums. And he said that I short-circuited and just couldn't speak for a few seconds.
Yeah, the gears started turning that if they're making stadiums, they might have Dodger Stadium. And Joseph and I are huge Dodger fans. And I could see the gears turning in his brain. But the look on his face, he didn't say anything. He just kind of mouth agape, just kind of thinking of the possibilities and what was going to happen. Yeah, I think you guys went in for like Starbucks or Dippin' Dots or something, and we just ended up walking through the Lego store, just something random. Yeah, it broke your brain.
It did.
Thinking that you could possibly get a Lego Dodger Stadium and how the floodgates were going to open on a Lego obsession and that your wife was going to murder you. It was a beautiful thing. I enjoyed it. Anyways,
back to this promo.
Bret
Hart. He challenges Undertaker to a fight right now. They obviously have their match coming up at SummerSlam. He's like, no, let's do it now. Then Bulldog says everyone saw him power slam the most dangerous man, and he challenges Ken Shamrock as well. This is the clear trend, and Owen challenges Austin, who he calls a pervert for wanting to kiss his butt, which actually made me laugh because Owen Hart, best Hart. But then tells him to suck his toes. So who's the real pervert, Tarantino? Anyways, Austin comes out and says, you come out here and you say this is God's country. This ain't nothing but a living hell. You want the truth? The truth is I'll come down there and shove all your toes straight up your asses. We ain't got to wait till SummerSlam. I'll be part of your stupid little flag match, and that's the bottom line. It's not perfect by any stretch, but I do think every single member of the Harts and Austin did a really good job. I'm giving it a B+.
Yeah, I think Austin plays it really well too, right? Because he's not a patriotic guy, right? So how do you get him into this flag match, which is kind of a patriotic thing, right? And he's like, I don't care. I just want to beat up the Harts, which is completely reasonable. So I liked it. After that, though, we go back to Raw from the previous week. we get the scene again where DOA and Los Boricuas.
There you go.
Yeah, it took a second. That one's hard for me. I don't know why. Their fight, and the reason they take us back is because Gorilla Monsoon has an announcement. He's suspended both of them from Raw. They've been suspended because they won't allow any gang warfare on the War Zone, and instead we're gonna allow it at SummerSlam. So there you go. They've got a match at SummerSlam. And we've got a match between Brian Christopher and Brian Walsh, the battle of the Bryans, for
Absolutely.
3 minutes and 53 seconds. God help us.
Scott, I hope you can read quick because Christopher wins easily. Not much happens. I gave this a D.
The Truth Commission. We get a promo of the Truth Commission, which out of the pan and into the fire here, from bad to worse.
Yeah.
We get a lame Brian Christopher match because we're clearly just pushing him for Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Lawler wants to push his son, which is fine, I guess. But yeah, then we have the Truth Commission who will be in action, and they're terrible.
Yes, they
I
are.
don't want this to happen. I don't want.
They don't say much, by the way, in this. It's a lot of,
Mm-mm.
I don't remember what the guy, Commandant, that's the main guy. He just does a lot of talking. My only real note here is that we get the stop start of the Truth Commission, because this has happened before where we've gotten like, oh, they're going to be coming and then they don't. And then, oh, they're going to be coming and then they don't. It's happened like 2 or 3 times now. And so they will be live next week. So next week, me and Scott are going to want to hang ourselves as we watch a match of the Truth Commission. And boy, is it bad. But this
Yes, it
is also bad. So I'm giving it a D.
The only one, and the weird thing about it too is like the only one that really ever becomes anything is the only one that doesn't wrestle.
Oh, Kurgan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't, he just kind of hangs out and he's like, that's the dude you use. He's huge. It's weird.
He's bad.
It's just the whole thing's dumb.
He is in that match and he is bad.
I think at the end though, right? He comes in and like, yeah, he's not supposed to be in it, but yeah. After that, we do a flashback to 1995 because apparently WWF gave away a house.
Yes.
So now, so there's that. And now we're giving away $1 million. And Sable is sitting on a casket because apparently we're putting the money. The whole thing is weird.
Yeah.
Because she's sitting, we got sexy Sable sitting on a casket that we've filled with money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why any of this makes any sense. But there you go. They're going to give away $1 million at SummerSlam. Also, SummerSlam. Why a casket?
I don't know. I don't understand what's going on here, Scott. Look, let me explain it to you. Okay. You've got Sable, right? And then you've got a casket. Okay. You got $1 million in the casket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be at SummerSlam. How do you not get this?
I just don't know how these things are interlinked. But Mark Merrow's also there, and he doesn't seem pleased by the whole thing about Sable throttling a casket full of $1 million. I don't.
To be fair, Sable at this point, like she's obviously very attractive, and they're putting her in more like risque things, but it's not too bad.
Yes,
and she isn't doing too many like she's not like Sunny's going hard on this right now, and Sable isn't.
She's
Sable
desperate.
Sable will do this same stuff, but we aren't there yet.
Yeah, I think Sunny realizes that she's not the it girl anymore, and is kind of kitchen sinking it.
Yeah,
to stay relevant. And I actually kind of like the angle with her and Mark Mabel, or Mark Merrow.
Mark Mabel.
Mark Mabel. If he had stayed around, they probably would have called him that because Sable has become the important part in that relationship. It's like, you're Mabel now. It's Sable and Mabel.
They already had Mabel though.
That's true, but we don't talk about that. And I kind of like the angle though, right? Because obviously she's very pretty, and that's the angle they're running. And I like the fact that Mark Mero doesn't like it. I kind of like that angle, but they don't do anything with Mark Mero.
Yes, that's the problem, is that
He is
it does not help
he.
him. It only hinders
This
him.
is
Yeah.
this is the only
Yeah.
part of the angle, is that he doesn't like it. It doesn't turn into a storyline for him with anybody. They kind of
Well,
started that, right, with him and
no, it
him and
does.
Hunter having
It
the
it
rivalry,
will
but
it
it's
will
gone.
it will eventually turn into a storyline of him being super jealous, but it is only a launching pad for her. So he
Yeah.
gets nothing out of this. And like, if you're wondering, what we've seen with Mark Mero so far is he's peaked in WWF. And I'm not saying that's a him fault. Although I guarantee you that Vince and potentially Bruce Pritchard, who I don't have any problems with. I do like Bruce Pritchard, but I'm sure they would say that it was a him thing, but I think it's kind of a both of them thing. I think that we liked Johnny B. Bad a lot. I think there is meat on the bone, but they just don't really know what to do with it. And unfortunately, like, this is it. We'll see Mark Mero basically get humiliated for the next couple years and then bounce out.
It's wild because he's a good wrestler. Like,
Yep.
that match he had with DDP, he had a great DDP match. I think he had a good one with Brian Pillman too. Like, he's shown that he has an ability to have good matches. I just don't get it. If only he had stayed at WCW, because Eric Bischoff knows talent when he sees it,
Yes.
and he makes the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of talent, we got the dude. We got a video package of Dude Love, Dude Love.
That's beautiful.
That's the song.
Yeah.
That's the song.
It's beautiful.
And it's just about how Dude Love became Cactus Jack, became Mankind. Do you have anything you want to add, or that's basically it?
I do. I actually don't really like this because we get this vignette telling us the story of Dude Love, but all of this that we're seeing, this happened weeks ago. Like weeks ago, we got told this story by Jim Ross. So this does feel lazy. It almost feels to me like Vin Man didn't like that Ross got over so hard because those moments were so good. So he redid this on his own. We get pre-recorded comments from Austin, who can't believe what he saw last week by Foley taking a beating and still wanting to be partners. He says he has guts, but still he doesn't want a partner. I'm giving this a C because I think Austin does a really good job. Everything else leading up to this, to me, is incredibly lazy and also very petty from Vin Man.
Well, there you go. That seems very unusual for Vince to do something like that. I can't believe it. We get another flashback, this time to July 14th, 1997, which is last week, or in our case, today, because we're recording this on July 14th. What? But this is a flashback to when the Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom, almost killed Henry Godwinn. And then we go into a promo where Hawk and Animal tell us that, they'll do it again. Tell us about it, Joseph.
Well, Animal says it's obvious you're trying to cripple Hawk and that they are just being crybabies. And then Hawk says, well, I've been slopped. I've been dropped. I've been slop dropped. I've had people on his back. I've had people on my back, and we're still stinking here. He says that we broke your neck by accident the first time, but it won't be by accident the second time. I love this. I gave it a B.
And that leads us into our match between these two. There's more than that. There's the Godwins.
Mm-hmm.
There's, wait, are they in this? Did I
LOD is not in this one, but I get where you were going with this.
Yeah, they should be in this, but they're not. So that completely
you gotta save it for SummerSlam. That's where the juice is.
Oh, that's so good. Well, anyways, we got the Godwins. And the new Blackjacks, and the Headbangers, and that goes for 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Tell me about the Godwins, the new Blackjacks, and the Headbangers.
Blackjacks had a promo, and Bradshaw says they can beat the whole WWF and that they will face the champs next week. Headbangers also have a promo and say they had 38 minutes of sleep, so they're fresh as daisies, which actually kind of liked. Phineas nails Wyndham with the bucket, and Henry Godwinn picks up the win. It's a kind of meh match. It's not bad. It's just whatever. It gets a C.
Well, all right. And we get hour number 2. And we started off hot with your boy, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, being interviewed by America's sweetheart, Jim Ross. Tell me about your boy, Joseph. Tell me about him.
It's funny because that is my boy, but I'm wearing the shirt of your boy.
Oh, I love it. And I'm wearing a shirt of our podcast.
So one of your boys.
I get two of my boys right there. I count myself as one of my boys.
Oh,
You gotta
that's
love
beautiful.
yourself, bro. You gotta
Absolutely.
love That's big, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So HBK has a lot of things on his mind, and he calls JR Garth Brooks, which the crowd laughs at. HBK taunts the crowd, saying the U.S. recently freed the Canadian ferries, meaning the on-the-water kind, which he turns into a gay joke, saying, we'll free your ferries, your heterosexuals, your transvestites. We're cool with anyone. That's the only part that's like, all right, that hasn't aged well. The rest of the promo is quite good. He says he has a deep appreciation for Canada, as one Christmas, his family gave him some Canadian Army men figures, and they all came out like this. And he raises his hands up in his head in surrender, which made me laugh out loud. He says everyone knows why the U.S. keeps from falling in the ocean, because Canada sucks. Shawn is throwing out the edge we will soon love. The Canadian crowd hates him. He says the Harts want 3 ready and able Americans for the flag match. Stone Cold is number 1, and I'll give you one guess who's going to be number 2. HBK has little Canadian flags in his pants, by the way, and it's hilarious. He says that that's not all, and reminds us about his request last week. Last week, he asked if he could be part of SummerSlam. The crowd chants, "We want Brett," and this doesn't faze him because Shawn Michaels, he's in his bag right now. And he tells the crowd they will get Hart and Shawn in the ring tonight because that's the match later on. He says every job he has to do at SummerSlam was taken. There is only one opening for him, and he will be special referee at SummerSlam. Then JR goes, oh, that's cool, but like, which match are you going to be reffing? And HBK says, well, you have the lower card, then the middle card, the top of the card, and then the main event. I only work one match, and that's the main event. Bret Hart versus The Undertaker. And then he dances around with the flags. And JR says, don't you think Bret Hart will think that's prejudicial? And HBK says, that's not my concern. He says it has been made clear to him that if he doesn't call the match right down the middle, then he will also not be able to wrestle in America. So that would mean he would have to move to Canada and wrestle for the fans every day of his life, which draws heavy boos. But he wants everyone to know, if you can't trust Shawn Michaels, then who can you trust? Outside of the early joke, I really enjoyed this. I'm giving it an A-.
And I just wanted to say, because I like these little history things. This weird reference Shawn makes to the fairies. That's a real thing.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It was over fishing rights between the U.S. and Canada in Alaska, kind of Western Canada issue, and they were blocking our ships, and we were blocking theirs, and there was a blockade of the Canadian fishing vessels surrounded a ferry, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So just random little tidbits. It was actually a big deal. Apparently, it was big enough to where Shawn Michaels knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is crazy to me that, I mean, right now the US and Canada kind of have their beef, obviously, with, Trump saying we were going to invade them and all that kind of stuff. But you would think, it feels like before that we had a pretty good relationship. So it's crazy to hear that in 1997 we were like blockading each other over fishing rights. Like, I didn't realize we had this much beef with Canada, but apparently there's some long simmering beef.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know whose side I'm on. USA.
Oh, gotcha. I had to think about it for a second.
USA. Yeah, you better believe it, man. But yes, as Shawn leaves, there's a lot of chants that that apparently the United States sucks.
Interesting.
Canadian
Interesting
audience. Yeah. Yeah. And we also get our 4 clues to the SummerSlam $1 million giveaway, sweepstakes, whatever. And the clues are, write them down, everybody. Get out your decoder ring. All right. Get them out. I'm giving it to you. Here we go. Because we should play a game on the podcast about what they are. Now, granted, people can just look it up and get the answer because it's already happened. But don't play along. We got to figure this out. The clues are the key. That's clue 1. The key. Clue 2 is 2A. The next clue is life. And the last clue is of luxury.
Interesting.
So, yeah, keep those, write them down, get out your decoder rings, drink your Ovaltine.
Absolutely.
And we will find out. We will find out at SummerSlam if you, our fair listeners, we'll win $1 million. Because I'm announcing it right here, Joseph.
From WWF.
That's not what I'm announcing.
Okay.
We're giving away $1 million, Joseph.
Look, that's
take out a loan, buddy.
That's fine, but I'm gonna need 1 million people to subscribe to our Patreon real quick.
You only need $500,000 at $2.
Give me 1 million people. I didn't tell you where the other million was going.
Damn, bro. Yeah, we're not. Just full disclaimer, we're not giving away $1 million.
Yeah.
We're not doing it.
Also, who doesn't love a little Ponzi scheme?
True. Someone turned off the pod right there and is already filing a class action. Like, no, I didn't hear that second part. But anyways, let's get back to our matches. I love Patriot.
Hold on. I want to say it was on the pay-per-view episode we did. Scott was giving me crap about missing something, like some little nothing thing. Oh, no. You were giving me crap about missing something on the pay-per-view episode. And it was because it was like a commercial or something. I didn't take any notes on it because it's a commercial. And Scott was giving me crap about missing it. And I gave him so much shit about the fact that, I take all these notes on everything that's actually happening. And his notes are on, commercials and ads and Saturday 605.
Yes.
And the minute you started, the minute you started with this, I was like, this dude really took all the notes on the freaking clues. My God. I love it. Don't ever break character.
Why wouldn't you? This is important. The $1 million challenge is hilarious. It is hilarious. I love it. It is so bad. That's why I got to get everyone hyped for it. But let's get back to our match. And what a match it is. The Patriot versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley for 3 minutes and 4 seconds. I feel like the Patriot should have been in the flag match. What the hell is going on?
Right?
Tell me, Joseph.
Right? Patriot cuts an earlier promo where he doesn't say much. It's very, love America, fight for America, all that stuff. But he doesn't really say anything. There's nothing like storyline-wise with it. Patriot comes out and he has music, but it will change and it will actually become Kurt Angle's well-known theme. And then, some guy will take it. Anyways, Bret Owen and the Bulldog come down to the ring and shout at Vin Man about HBK being the special guest referee. Bret gets pulled away, but he comes back and slaps Vin Man, who is irate now. The two start fighting and have to be pulled apart. The Patriot saves McMahon, but the Harts beat him up for the DQ. So yes, probably should have been in the flag match, but storyline wise, actually makes a lot of sense. I'm giving this one a B. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It works. It absolutely works in context. And Bret gives Vince a meaty slap.
Yeah.
That's a real slap. I think Vince is legit pissed.
It's a meaty slap. It's a meaty slap, and the screw job hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah. Do you think that's the moment when Vince was like, I'm gonna hit you back? That's it right there. I'm gonna hit you back.
Yeah.
I have given you the send-off of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And you do that to me? And speaking of Vince, he gets in the ring after getting the taste knocked out of his mouth. He's got to gather himself, but he gets in the ring and takes us over to JR. I guess he doesn't get in the ring. JR gets in the ring, I should say, or whatever the hell. I don't even know what the hell's going on here. I didn't take these notes. I don't know. I didn't take this specific of notes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
I had to get them clues.
He
don't know who went in the ring, but got to get them clues.
No, this is more. Yeah, these are the important things, okay? You have your job, I have my job. Anyways, Vince throws it to JR wherever he is, because I don't remember. and we got to talk to Paul Bearer because he's got updates on what a murderer Undertaker is. But apparently not as much of a murderer as we thought because Kane is alive. Oh, Joseph.
Yeah, he's 1/3 less of a murderer. JR asks about Bearer's proof of Kane being alive. Bearer said last week he has proof, and Bearer says he isn't a liar and you can tell that he is telling the truth. He has proof. JR says, why don't you show it to us? And Bearer says, why don't you shut up? Is Bearer Donald Trump? Anyways, gang, Bearer talks about matching statues that the brothers shared and what would always keep. He has a statue of the Grim Reaper and it's burnt. And he says, this is the proof that Kane is alive. This was his statue and I have it now. Not as good as we've kind of come to expect from Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
I think it's just a weaker one. It's okay. We're going to get Kane. We're on the hype train. We're all right. So I'm giving it a C+, but it's not his best one we've had.
They have to keep thinking of ways to stretch this out for months.
Yes.
And so sometimes they're going to hit and sometimes they're going to miss. This is kind of a miss because the whole thing's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
You guys had statues of the Grim Reaper when you were like 6? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like just statues. It's like when you were 6, you're like, I love this statue of the Grim Reaper. What? Friggin'
that shows how dark they were, Scott. Come on, man.
I guess, but it's just like, I don't know, man. Seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not believing it. Okay. What should have happened is they should have had like a friggin' burned Tonka truck. That'd have been hot.
Well, wouldn't it be melted?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
A little bit. He melted a little bit. Just a little bit. It's just a gelatinous kind of puddle. Just holds it up. And thanks to our sponsor, Tonka Trucks. But anyways, next match, I'm moving on. Goldust versus Farouk with a little Brian Pillman, not in the match, but in relation to the match. 3 minutes, 24 seconds. Tell me.
Goldust and Marlena had an earlier promo. Goldust asks if Marlena has a sensual, sexual dress for Pillman. Marlena says, of course I do. But Pillman can't fill out a dress like she can. Who can, Marlena? Who can?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
She also says she hears that Pillman can't fill out his own tights. Got him. Vince McMahon leaves the broadcast booth mid-match because something is going on backstage. We're told that Bret Hart was seen coming out of Shawn Michaels' locker room and that it is believed that Shawn is injured. Kama interferes with the match and Farouk hits the Dominator, but the ref calls DQ. I don't know why the ref never saw it. It's kind of odd booking. Anyways, we go to commercial and we come back to see HBK being helped up. He screams at Vin Man for allowing this place to be run like a zoo. Creative turned the real storyline between Bret and Shawn that we actually saw a few weeks ago into an on-screen storyline. I'm going to give him a lot of props for that, but the match itself is kind of so I'm giving it a C.
Yeah, and Shawn's pretty disoriented. Either it's from the beating or the sauce.
Like
at this point, we don't know.
Like Big Mac sauce?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a kid's show, Scott. It's a kid's show.
One of America's greatest exports. And speaking of America, we got ourselves a flag match. USA, baby. I'm expecting the Stars and Stripes to win here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada.
Bye, guys.
So tell me how the Americans overcome their Canadian adversaries in a 13-minute match.
Well, initially, the Americans are getting the crap beaten out of them. But then they start to kind of mount a comeback and the Canadian crowd starts to turn. They were booing the Americans, but they're starting to see what they are accomplishing and they're now invigorated by the sport. And so they start turning and they go on the side of America too.
Yes.
Now the Americans win, and then they cut a post-match promo where they say, you know, if I can change and if you can change, we can all change. And it's really beautiful.
That is beautiful. I fight for me.
Anyways, Hart cuts the music and he wants to hear the Canadian national anthem. The anthem plays and it's the whole thing because Bret Hart. We get Austin, but who are his partners? Dude Love comes out. The two men take on all three members. All of a sudden, as we head to commercial, Undertaker's music hits. Literally, as we head to commercial. We don't see him come out. It's just you hear dong, and then we go to commercial. We come back, and now he's on the ring, and you're like, okay. We get a mostly fun match, to be fair. Undertaker is about to win when Brian Pillman prevents him from doing so, and Bret Hart sneaks the victory, and the crowd, of course, loves it because this their boy. It's not perfect, but I do enjoy it. It is like I said, it was a fun match. I'm giving it a B.
So they don't win.
They do not win, no.
Oh, oops. What was that first thing you were talking about? What's that from?
Star Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was a Rocky IV reference
Yeah.
for you youngins listening to the podcast.
Best Rocky.
Anyways, did you say best Rocky?
It's my favorite Rocky. I'm not saying it's actually the best, but it is my favorite Rocky.
Clearly hasn't seen Rocky V, which is no one's favorite Rocky.
No.
I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be.
No,
but it's
no,
not.
it is worse than
as the
people
others.
make it out to be.
Oh God, we're gonna have to watch. We're gonna have to watch those too. Okay, fine,
Dude,
fine.
you have plenty of time to watch all the Star Trek movies and all the Rockies. And by the way, I own every single one of them because a streaming service fricked me and gave me commercials one time.
And you just sat there just pissed off. This guy, just a little story. This guy loves the John Wick movies. Like, I feel like you love them more than anyone I've ever seen. Like,
John
them.
Wick is my favorite film series ever.
You love them carnally. You love them. And we were watching one because it was like the latest one, I think, because I hadn't seen the latest one. You're like, bro, you got to see the latest one. So I was at his house. He puts it on and it's got commercials. And this dude gets so mad that it has commercials. He sits there fuming the rest of the movie, just on his, looking down his phone, buying every John Wick movie so he never has to see commercials again. And then he's like, what other movies do I like? Because like, dude's just like on a buying spree of like every movie I think you bought Blues Brothers 2 or something random because we were mentioning, you're like, I gotta get that one too. And it was just like, yeah, I think you did. You're like, I gotta get that one too. It was crazy. It was hilarious. I loved it. Anyways, we should probably talk about wrestling because that's what this podcast is all about. That was the end of Raw. Raw is over.
Yeah.
So we got to go to Tuesday, Nitro Tuesday, WCW Tuesday Nitro. That's a mouthful. Tuesday Nitro. It just doesn't really flow like Monday Nitro. I don't think they should have it on Tuesday. I don't like it. July 22nd, 1997, the Jacksonville Coliseum in Jacksonville, Nova Scotia, Canada. No, I'm kidding. It's Florida. Well, I will tell you something I did notice. Remember, to Raw's credit, when they had Thursday, it was Thursday, wasn't it? Thursday, Raw Thursday. I think that's what they called it. I think it was on a Thursday. They made a big deal about it being on Thursday. So much so we started making fun of them for how many times they said Thursday, Raw Thursday. Yes. They had a special logo. They had everything. Tuesday Night Nitro got none of that crap.
They don't have money for marketing Tuesday Nitros. They don't have
nothing.
All of their money is tied up into Hogan and Hall and Nash and Ted DiBiase and Vincent and Six and Lex Luger.
Vincent broke the bank. They didn't have Tuesday Night Nitro money because of Vincent budget.
And Lanny Poffo and insert whoever else they're paying randomly.
Wrestlers to this day.
Yes.
When you get a big contract, they call it Vincent money. That's how big it was. I'm lying. That's not true. we should not say these things to folks who maybe don't know the business as much. The term is actually Sting money, which I think we've talked about previously on the podcast. But Sting at the time had a huge contract, and they called it when you got paid, it was Sting money. Yeah. That's the joke, ladies and gentlemen. But what starts off the night, which I think is what you're alluding to, is the Nitro Girls, and Kimberly is out of sync.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And then if you don't have anything to say more about that, we can get into the next thing that happens, which is everybody's favorite Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff doing another one of their promos about Lex Luger and his challenge. He wants a world title shot at Road Wild. Tell me about this segment, Joseph.
This is largely the exact same promo segment that we have gotten for weeks and months, and it doesn't change. Eric Bischoff is doing his finger point thing that Scott loves. I'm so exhausted talking about this, so you know it's a segment. Hogan, interestingly, puts over Conan for some reason. Like, he just randomly throws his name out, calling him K-Dog, and talks about his importance to the NWO now. Found that strange, but hey, that's cool. He put someone over finally. Then Hogan does his posing, and we out. I gave it a D.
You know, I will disagree with you. I do feel like Hogan, he'll put someone over on the mic, just not in the ring. He'll talk people up. He's talked up like Ric Flair and Piper about them being like some of the greatest of all time and stuff like that. I think he'll do stuff like that, but he ain't gonna let him win. He ain't gonna let him win though. I feel like that's his deal. Like, I'll talk you up, but you're not going to win the title.
Yeah, I'll say nice things, then I'll bury you.
Yeah. But really, the only reason he brought up K-Dog Conan is because Conan got a match, and that's the segue. That's their own segue. They segue into a Conan versus Tabasco match. Tell me about Conan and Tsubasa?
Yeah.
Is it Tsubasa?
Yes.
Is the T silent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that killed me. I was wondering.
This was a long one.
If you're gonna do it. Yeah, absolutely. Get ready.
30 seconds.
You better read ahead, Scott. Tsubasa loses immediately. It gets a D.
And then we kind of we basically just go into our next match. Because Raw or Nitro, I'm so used to it being the opposite way, so I'm thinking it's Raw. Nitro jams it full of matches. So we go into our next match, which is the WCW World Television Champion, Steven Regal, versus the Ultimo Dragon. And the title is on the line. Tell me, Joseph.
We love both of these wrestlers. Obviously, they're both fantastic. It's been a few weeks since we've seen Steve Regal, no longer Lord, and still looking not great. And unfortunately, from a health standpoint, this is kind of going to be the remainder of his time in WCW. We get a notification from, he's doing great now. So that's all that matters.
Yes. We love Steven Regal. So
100%.
Disappointing.
Yes. We get a notification from Tony Schiavone letting us know that apparently there is another new wrestler that may have signed to World Championship Wrestling. Some other big name. I don't know who this is off the top of my head. We'll find out. They don't say it's going to happen tonight. They say in the next few weeks we should find out. So we'll see. I don't remember off the top of my head, though, who it could be. I was wrong about so earlier, my first note that I didn't actually read, but I'll tell you guys, was I thought this was going to be the match of the night. But I was wrong about that because Dragon wins fairly quickly, honestly, with the Dragon Sleeper. I mean, it's really just kind of out of nowhere and it just happens. I wonder if at this point they're telling Regal, like, hey, you need to take some time off and because you're not doing well. I don't think he actually makes it past 97. I think the Goldberg thing happens in late 97. So he's not much longer for WCW.
Slamming it into the Google machine.
And then he goes to WWE for a little bit, WWF actually, and then he'll end up getting fired there. And then it kind of goes back and forth. So yeah, I think they're starting to realize they're kind of out on Regal. Just from a health standpoint, they can't really risk it from what they need from him. So yeah, this is a very sudden match ending. What I was hoping to be a great, phenomenal match, it isn't, and so it gets a C for me.
Yeah, and the infamous Steven Regal Goldberg match is February 9th, 1998.
Gotcha.
That is when he leaves us. So there you go, and we'll talk about it because it really is an infamous match. It's another one of those wrestling history kind of matches that people talk about to this day. But what people don't talk about to this day is our next segment and what happens in our next segment, because we got Mean Gene, and I don't normally yell it anymore because I want to maintain my vocal cords, but it's important because he's talking to the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and Ric Flair is going to reveal to us who the new Fourth Horseman is. And it's obvious, isn't it? But tell me, Joseph, tell me who it is.
Wants to introduce the newest horseman, and instead of Kurt Hennig or whomever may be logical coming out, it ends up being Sean Waltman, aka Six, who has been feuding off and on with Flair. And by off and on, I mean they're feuding like 3 months ago, and now all of a sudden we're back again. Flair punches Six, and then Nash and Hall come out, and Six says they wouldn't be pulling this crap. Oh, I'm sorry, Nash and Hall don't come out. He says Six says they wouldn't be pulling this crap if Hall and Nash were here. And Benoit comes out and says, why don't we find out? And then we close the segment and go to commercial and come back to some Nitro girls. So we never find out. He says, why don't we find out? And then we don't. So, okay. I'm giving it a C.
But we didn't find out who the newest horseman is?
Nope.
Well, I hope we find out soon, because I'm waiting with bated breath. I can't even fathom who it could possibly be.
Absolutely.
Even though it's so obvious. They're really bad at surprises, I feel. Not good.
No, horrible
at
at them.
them.
They were great at Bash of the Beach 96, and that was it. That was it. Like, once that happened, they were done.
But what they were good at was, these Nitro girls, look at those moves. These girls know how to dance, except for Kimberly. Off again. And then we get WCW Saturday Night 605. I took all the notes on it.
Absolutely.
All of the notes on it.
Tell us who's on it.
Gonna be there. Mang, Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Henning's going to talk, because that's the place that your hot new star should be having important announcements. Absolutely. Is on 605 Saturday night that we're not watching. Love it. Love it. It's great. And then we get the Giant versus the Great Muta. Why? I don't know.
You had the segue right there. You were like, it's great. And I was like, oh, here we go. He's going to reel it in. And then you missed it.
I thought it spoke for itself, because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you led with it's great, and then you could have been like, speaking of great, we got the Great Muta versus Giant.
Oh, that would have been good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I
605 Saturday night, it's great. And here's the Great Muta in action with the Giant. And Great Muta's, he's in NWO now, right? He's in Japan NWO. We established that.
Yes.
So you know what's gonna happen. Tell me what happens, Joe.
They're gonna job out Muta. So unfortunately, this is unrelated to the match. But speaking of the Giant, it bugs me to no end that there's no Giant or Big Show in the WWE 2K games. Yes, you can technically download fan created ones, and of course I have. But I miss Paul White in my games, and I wish that he would come back in some sort of fashion to WWE. No, I don't think he can work in the ring or anything anymore. But like some sort of Legends deal where we can still use him in games, that'd be awesome. I just like the guy. I've always been a big fan of his, and obviously Billy Gunn's able to do it, so it'd be cool. Anyways, Giant goes.
Can I add something to that? Can I add something to that thought? Just real quickly, I just want to say, well, add him to 2K25.
That was really good. Can you do Big Show's theme?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Giant goes for his choke slam early, and Muta hits him with the poison mist. Then Vincent and Macho Man Randy Savage come out and attack him, but Giant is able to fight them off, even though he can't really see anything. Okay. Luger comes out and help Giant, but Giant choke slams him, or is about to, because he can't see him. And then somehow Luger, who's getting choked, manages to scream in his ear that is him, and then Giant puts him down. Like, this pisses me off. There were so many things in this that were like, yes, okay, that makes some logical sense, right? The poison mist thing, obviously. Then the NWO come out and they attack him.
Mhm.
No way he should have got out of that. Okay, he somehow gets out of that. Luger comes out to help him. Okay, he doesn't know Luger's not part of the NWO because he can't see anything, so he's going to choke slam Luger. Cool. That's a really cool little wrinkle between him and Luger, him choke slamming him, and then they don't do that. So it's like, what? It's a lot of really good ideas executed poorly. I'm giving it a C.
Speaking of poorly, Steve Mongo McMichael's in a match against Dino Malenko, who is very talented.
Mm.
It's very good. Yeah. About 4:30. Tell me about this one, Joseph.
We see Jeff Jarrett and Deborah come out to distract Steve Mongo McMichael. Jarrett ends up grabbing McMichael's head and throwing him head first into the ropes, throat first into the ropes. Malenko then gets Mongo in a small package and pins him 1, 2, 3. Mean Gene interviews Dean Malenko saying he doesn't need to associate with Jeff Jarrett. And then Jeff Jarrett is like, hey, don't you talk about me behind my back, essentially. And then Mongo, he comes over and he's going to start talking smack to him. And then he gets held back by the police. Jarrett starts taunting Mongo, but also saying that the 4 horsemen are jealous of him because we can't let that die for some reason. And then Dean tells Dean that he needs someone to watch his back, just like he needs someone to watch his own back. And so they should kind of make their own 4 horsemen. He doesn't say their own 4 horsemen, but he's like, we should do our own thing. You know what I mean? Malenko says, I don't know why that got me. Malenko says that he's not stupid, even though he says he doesn't need anybody. He understands there are strength in numbers. So it kind of alludes that, maybe he will actually join Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett celebrates it, and then Deborah starts saying her nonsense. Malenko tells Jarrett he will get his answer when he's good and ready, which I believe actually happens next week. The only thing I actually really do enjoy in this is that Jeff Jarrett is actually bringing importance to the United States Heavyweight Championship, which it really hasn't been for a while. I'm giving it a B-.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. I am disappointed, though, that you didn't mention something.
Okay.
Pretty important.
Okay.
Surprised you don't have it in your notes. Happened during the match.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Nitro parties! You didn't talk about how we got the new thing where they're showing videos of people having dumb Nitro parties because they're terrible. It's like just dudes sitting around going, yeah! It's hilarious. It's ridiculous. But yeah, this is going to be a new thing where they show people having Nitro parties. Lee Marshall nowhere to be found in these, so why are we even doing it? Could you imagine?
That's why I don't bring him up, because there's no Lee Marshall. So it's not worth my time.
That would be a great segment if they had Lee Marshall's Nitro parties and they were just like they just got escalatingly more extreme.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just like that'd be so good. That'd be so good. Speaking of good, we got a pretty good match.
We do.
We got Los Guerreros, Eddie Guerrero versus Hector Guerrero. Almost 4 minutes on this match. Tell me, Joseph.
Hector stares at the camera and says that he's going to give Eddie a good old-fashioned older brother whooping. It's a really, really good match, and every single time that Hector starts getting the advantage, he just starts to Eddie starts to straight up cheat. It's really late, guys. Sorry. Straight up cheat. A number of times biting Hector, which I actually was like, damn, and Hector's screaming during, like, he's selling the hell out of those bites.
It's pretty nasty, yeah.
Somehow Eddie does not get disqualified for this, even though it's very clearly in front of the ref. And then I've said it before, Hector Guerrero is wildly underrated, and you see it a lot in this match. I really enjoy watching him wrestle, and I wish we got to see a lot more of it, but fortunately we really don't. Eddie ultimately wins with a frog splash, and Dean Malenko comes down to the ring. Eddie doesn't know he's there while he's taunting his brother, and he turns around right into a clothesline from Dean Malenko. Malenko then follows up with a monster powerbomb and the Texas Cloverleaf. Hector is telling Dean to let him go because this is still his brother, but Dean won't. So Hector fights him off. Hector goes to,
I liked that.
yes, I do. Hector goes to help Eddie up, and Eddie pushes Hector into Dean Malenko, then attacks Hector as Eddie sneaks out of the ring. The conniving fool. We then get more of Nitro Girls, including a completely off-tempo Kimberly as we go to commercial and come back. I really enjoyed this segment. I'm giving it a B.
It was great. Yeah, I thought it really helped Eddie's character. Like you said, Dean is got him in the clover leaf. Hector's like, bro, come on. Like, you've had enough. Like, Hector, like, punches him. He's like, that's my brother, man. Get off of him. And then how does Eddie thank him? By getting him suplexed by Dino Malenko.
Yeah.
I tell you, I feel like Eddie and Dean, they might want to put their issues aside, maybe join with Jeff Jarrett and a faction. Could be radical. I'm going to keep making that joke.
Yeah.
Until it actually happens, which is years from now.
Yes.
We got the next hour. And we got more Nitro Girls. It's Kimberly. She can't do it, bro. She can't do it.
Nope.
But we love her.
Yes.
We love her. Just used so terribly wrong. But over to Mean Gene, because Mean Gene said, nah, no one gets to do the journalism thing but me. So it's Mean Gene with J.J. Dillon, who we know and love and can't do anything, but apparently signed some people to some contracts. We got a contract signing here, Joseph. Tell me about this contract signing. Also, what the hell is that?
It's the dryer. I don't know if it'll pick up on the mic, but it's the dryer. Apparently that they have acquired some new talent is what J.J. Dillon is telling us. And then Stevie Richards comes out and interrupts this. Stevie Richards says that there is not only one announcement on tonight's Nitro, but there are two announcements on tonight's Nitro. He says that he has indeed signed a new contract at World Championship Wrestling. JJ says he wanted Raven, though. So Stevie goes, well, let me bring him to you. So they all walk down to Raven, where he's sitting at ringside. And Stevie says, oh, hey, I negotiated a deal for you. And then Raven stares at the contract, then instead of signing it, does his weird, rhetoric that he does every week. One of the funny things in this really quickly is that Stevie Richards says something along the lines of like, I'm making more than you, but it's really good. And then then Raven tears up the contract. He then punches Stevie Richards again. Stevie Richards' gimmick seems to be the Wild Stallions from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That seems what he's going for here, because he even it's one of the phrases that they say, not excellent. There's a phrase that they say that he says in this. It's very clearly a ripoff, which wrestlers do that all the time. Anyways, it's the typical Raven segment that we've seen a number of times. He gets a C.
No good wrestler steals from pop culture. You wouldn't see Sting do something like that.
Or Scott Hall for that matter.
Oh, speaking of Scott Hall, we got Scott Norton in a match. What a segue. Lex Luger versus Scott Norton, and Buff Bagwell and Vincent have come down to the ring to join him. I don't think anything good can come of this, Joseph. Tell me about this 2-minute match.
Like you said, it barely lasts any time, and Luger fights off Buff Bagwell, then racks Vincent. However, Lex wants a mic now so he can call out Hulk Hogan. Lex calls Hogan his majesty, which I actually liked quite a bit. Lex basically downplays himself, but he's more doing this as a joke. And then Hogan says, no, I will make something of you. Hogan comes out. He says, no, I'll make something of you. And I'm going to make you important because you will lose to me. And then this just kind of doesn't do anything. We just kind of end right here. I actually really like what Lex was doing here. And honestly, what Hogan was doing was fine, but we just abruptly end, which is like a lot of Nitro segments. Like we start to finally get something and then it's over. And it's like, oh, okay. So it gets to see.
Well, I think you're going to get a lot of value out of our next segment, since you're worried about stuff starting and then immediately ending. We go backstage, and Conan catches Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They're coming into the building, and Conan says he's got a secret for them. Oh, but the camera's there. He can't tell him now. He'll tell him later.
Yep.
Probably what he wanted to tell him, though, was that Lee Marshall got the 1-800-COLLECT road report.
Absolutely.
That's probably what he wanted to tell him. And he's in Charleston, West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, which are in Western Virginia, not West Virginia. But who cares?
Yeah.
Tell me about this, Joseph.
We don't have time to go down that rabbit hole. We've done it once before. Lee tells us that we can take a ride on the PA Denny, a 200-passenger sternwheeler, or we can get some great ribs at Joey's. He says that Charleston is also the mecca for greyhound dog racing, and the smart money is on Rapid Roberta. In the 6th, he tells us the long shot is that no one is betting on Heenan's Fragrant Weasel. Gets an A+. Love it.
I tell you, life is old there. Older than the trees. Younger than the mountains.
Absolutely.
Growing like a breeze. La Parka and Psychosis versus Mortis and Wrath. 4:30.
The cameras are backstage as Ric Flair and Kurt Hennig are talking. We don't really know what they're talking about, but it seems like they're semi-scheming, or potentially Kurt Hennig is getting chewed out a little bit. It's not like a knockout, drag out fight or anything, but there's clearly a discussion going on. You don't really know what happens. You don't really make out any words. It just kind of is happening. Wrath and Mortis hit a combo sit-out powerbomb and neckbreaker, and it's actually a really cool finisher. I liked it. Then La Parka hits Mortis with the steel wood chair, and then Wrath beats up La Parka. It's honestly, sadly, this is probably the best match we've seen of them. It gets a C.
And La Parka hits that dude with a wooden chair, man. We got the chairman. I'm so excited. I love it. Love me some La Parka in the ring, not necessarily backstage, where he stabs people. Nothing I said is untrue. Booker T versus Buff Bagwell. 4 minutes, 50 seconds.
It's a pretty
Give or
decent
take.
match featuring two of, largely up and coming talents in Booker T and Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell pushes Nick Patrick, who in turn pushes Buff Bagwell to the ground and starts shouting at him. And Buff Bagwell sells this perfectly, which I loved. I love when they do that spot with the ref. It always is just a great return. Scott Norton hits Booker T with a clothesline while Nick Patrick is distracted, and then Buff Bagwell hits the blockbuster for the win. Really enjoyed this match. I really enjoy what Buff Bagwell did with Nick Patrick. I'm giving this a B.
Whoa. That's funny because Booker's name starts with a B and Buff Bagwell's name starts with a B. B's wild. Mean Gene's talking with Rey Mysterio, who is injured. He's on crutches. Maybe instead of being here, because he doesn't know when he's returning to the ring, he should be spending time with his son.
Probably, right?
Yeah. Because otherwise that boy is going to end up not right. I'm just saying.
I don't even know if Dom was born at this time.
Well, I'm going to Google machine it. You tell me about this match.
All right. Like you said, he doesn't know how long it's going to take him to get back in the ring, but therapy has been helping him as he tries to avoid surgery. He says he doesn't fear Conan, who coincidentally comes out and kicks out one of the crutches that Ray is using. He grabs the other crutch and starts taunting Ray with it. And then from behind Ray comes La Parka, Psychosis, and two of the Villanos to help defend him. And Conan kind of backs down. Look, I think Ray's great here. I like that there's a feud between him and Conan. And on top of that, we get what you love, which is more Villanos. So it's good to be for me.
The only thing I think this match needed, well, not match, whatever, more Villanos. More. And I will say, I Google machined it. Dominic is 4 months old, which makes my point even more important. You got to get them in the
crucial
formative moment.
Yeah, crucial years.
Yes. Yes. Kurt Hennig versus Michael Wall Street. There's a blast from the past. We haven't seen that dude in a while. I'm not even sure if is he Mike Rotunda now? Is he going by that or is he
No,
still Michael
he's
Wall Street?
still
I don't even
Michael.
remember. Yeah. Tell me about this banger of a match. 50 seconds.
This match is barely going on when Kurt Hennig hits what is essentially a perfect plex, but really it's the Fisherman Suplex. And Diamond Dallas Page comes out after the win and starts attacking Kurt Hennig. This is Scott's favorite version of DDP, taped up ribs and jeans. Hennig goes for the Fisherman Suplex, but DDP reverses it into the Diamond Cutter. I'm giving this a B. This is very, very fun.
And it's not a Fisherman Suplex. It's a hitting plex. It's completely different.
Absolutely.
Completely different. Nitro Girls. Kimberly is not in sync.
No.
At some point, they'll realize that to make it better, you put her in the back, not the front. Very noticeable in the front, less noticeable in the back. I've long said, I just feel like they should have her doing something completely separate from the rest of the girls. Like, she's like the hype girl. Like, they're the dancer. She's like the hype girl. She could just be like clapping, or she'd be like on a bullhorn, like throw your, raise your hands, or,
Yeah,
or I
absolutely.
talked about, like, you have like one of those twirlers, like, they have in gymnastics, they have that event where they have I don't know what they call it, but it's like they have like a twirl thing where they have like a streamer really long streamer and they're flipping it around, doing kind of all crazy stuff with it. I'm not saying she needs to do like gymnastics quality, like flipping around with the thing, but just run around with it. Just run around with it. Something. Just so it's not so noticeable how out of sync she is. And like I said, we love ourselves from Kimberly. Just not right for her. She's a professional, man.
Yeah.
She's not a dancer. She has a degree in journalism and marketing. Let the girl do her job. But this is 90s wrestling. We can't do that sort of thing.
No.
But that brings us to our main event, Joseph. This is The Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, if you don't remember, with Syxx versus Ric Flair and Chris Benoit. That's how you got to say it.
Absolutely.
Tell me about this 8-minute match. This one goes longer than I thought it was going to go because I assumed the NWO was just going to mess it up. Which, I mean, they will anyways.
Yes.
What? Not for 8 minutes? Tell me.
Just when it looks like the Horsemen might win this match, Benoit hits the diving headbutt on Hall while Flair attacks Syxx outside the ring. Of course, all the cheating gets to us, and we get the NWO helping out. So they win. It's honestly a really good match. And then just the typical finish, which is unfortunate because I was really enjoying most of it. And then Syxx gets I don't know what he calls the chicken wing crossface. What does he call that? Buzzkill. That's what it is. The buzzkill. He blocks in the buzzkill on Flair outside the ring.
Yes.
And it's okay, but then he locks it in for a while, and then finally the remaining 4 horsemen, just manga because there's only one of them, come out and they get beaten up. The Steiners are up on the ramp, and you think, oh, this might be them coming out to help the NWO, help the Horsemen, but then we don't get that. We just go to black. So Steiners show up just to watch, I guess. It's a common problem with WCW shows. Like, oh, we're gonna have something happen, and then we're done. Gets C for me.
Do you think they're joining? Do you think they're the 4th horseman? Just an amalgamation of the two?
Of them?
Yeah. Just like Scott carries Rick on his shoulders and they wear a big like overcoat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I got to know who the 4th horseman is. It certainly wasn't Kurt Hennig who they were talking to backstage earlier. It's got to be someone else, right? Or else they would just tell us.
Yeah.
Anyways, who did it? Who did it better, WCW or the WWF?
Here's what really annoys me about this, because WWF is not really a great show. Like, it's fine, but it's their weakest showing they've had in a while. Like, it's not great. And on top of that, it's pre-recorded. And it came out the day before Nitro. They had all the momentum in the world in WCW to put on a banger program to blow them out the water. And instead, they just completely rested on their laurels and just did the greatest hits of what they've always been doing. And so I'm begrudgingly going to give it to Raw. But I really thought while we were going through Raw, like, hey, Nitro might win. And they just don't for me.
I tell you, Mook is upset with your decision, and I am too. That probably won't pick up because I don't. The cat really doesn't pick up on the
No.
mic, but I will say the cat was
She's doing it again.
exclaiming,
Yeah.
outraged by your decision to give it to Raw tonight. Mook, real big WCW fan, as we know. This is tougher for me because, as you know, my heart and soul is the NWO. It's not, but it rhymes, so I went with it. It's WCW. I love me some WCW. WCW is what brung me up. And I want to give it to WCW. But they're also not real great.
Yeah. That's kind of my problem.
You know,
I wanted to give it to WCW too. Like I was like, Raw wasn't very good. WCW has to be a better show than this, and it just wasn't.
You know what? I'm going to give it to WCW for one reason. They kept me guessing all night by starting things and not finishing them.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like the Conan secret thing, did we ever get an answer to that? What the Conan secret was?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No.
And unless I'm mistaken, we don't get one next week either.
We don't get who the fourth horseman is, even though it is painfully obvious who the fourth horseman is.
Right.
Like, do they really think they're oh, look at that. Do they really think they're fooling anybody?
Can't tell you.
I don't know. Anyways, tell us what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, smash all those buttons. Join the Patreon. It's only $2 a month, so you can hear us do this fantastic work that we do for free, but for money.
Yeah, we don't do it for free. You get it for free, and it costs us quite a bit.
Yes, it does cost us. It costs us more than the Patreon paid for, I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
But if you want to hear about the pay-per-views, hop on the Patreon and you can hear all about Road Wild, which is coming up, SummerSlam, which is coming up, and most importantly, you get to find out what the answer is to the $1 million casket SummerSlam Sable Challenge.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Say goodbye, Mook.